I hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams is a modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead of stay something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off and knowing I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I never set for ages. A vacant modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been through, I never got anyone's love. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Are you ready for the best damn radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe,
Shit.
the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight from, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, I was for talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try him. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the highest. Nobody can deny it. This is man hour. Man, we go for the win. We keep it interesting. Part another down. Who got that interception? This is man.
We a big spark. No 4 inches won't cut short. Got the best talk in this all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live off 3 speaks.
We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, man? Our nation, Michael Buckcusher with you today, guys. I'm so glad you're rolling with us. Welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, guys. Your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you are rolling with us today. Before we jump into today's action, guys, head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you can find all the exclusive merchandise. Check out the latest happenings of the Man Hour show, and of course, get your merchandise over there as well. But guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, share this with a couple of friends who never miss a live, interactive show. That's the easiest way to stay plugged in with us. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry into weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and of course, bonus live streams that only a Pigskin Pundits get. So if you're all about the next level access, guys, join the squad today. Remember, this is a live interactive show, so drop your thoughts, drop your opinions, and drop your takes down below because I want to hear from you. So as you guys know, guys, this is a live interactive show, and I do understand that the Las Vegas Raiders are taking on the Denver Broncos right now. At last checked, I pushed pause when I came out here. Ashton Gentry just scored 7-0. So do not spoil the game for me, Old Man River. I'm talking to you. I'm especially talking to you guys. But guys, we do got a great show for you lined up today, and let's start there right up at the top. And Man Hour Nation, we got to talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, JJ McCarthy. Guys, this young man came in, he came back last week with a new look, a new attitude, and this brand new alter ego called 9. Guys, the Vikings got the win over the Detroit Lions on Sunday, 27-24, and JJ looked like he was playing possessed. That smile that's all catching in, gets the girls going, gone. That energy, it was a hell of a lot different. This was a quarterback who was locked in like he had something to prove, and guess what? He did have something to prove. JJ McCarthy told reporters this week that the 9 is the part that fueled him by frustration. The frustration of missing 23 of his first 25 NFL games. The frustration of sitting on IR, watching his team go from the sidelines, wanting to compete and being focused to wait. Guys, the emotion, the edge, it's finally showing up on Sunday. And look, You have to respect what JJ said, and he could have let the anger turn into self-destruction. But instead, he decided to channel it and become Agent 9. He's taken all that built-up emotion and turned it into drive. And as a result of speaking of this themselves, 2 wins on 3 stars, 3 touchdowns in each of those victories, a brand new swagger is now under center. Now, even Kevin O'Connell joked around and said he stays out of JJ's way when that look comes out. That post-game stare that went viral, when JJ McCarthy looked like he was ready to run through a wall. That's leadership, and guess what, guys? That is fire. That's exactly what you want out of your quarterback. But guys, here's the truth. Here is the cold, hard truth, the facts, and that every Minnesota Vikings fan does not want to have a part of this conversation because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. JJ McCarthy can have this mean mug, this alternate ego, this wolf mentality. It's all great to see. It's all great to talk about. But the Vikings, guys, they're just not a good football team. We look at the Minnesota Vikings right now, guys, they're just not a very good football team. They weren't good last year, and they're not going to be good this year either. Yes, I understand 14. They weren't very good. I told you guys that all season long. They're not very good. They're not very good. They're not very good. But about 14, just shut up. One and done. That's all I got to say about that. Now, you can't build a contender on personality alone. You need talent, you need depth, and most importantly, you need execution. Guys, Minnesota's defense is inconsistent at best. The offensive line is a little bit shaky. It's a little bit shaky, right? And the coaching is up and down. JJ McCarthy is showing promise, but one player cannot fix a broken roster in just 3 games played. Let's just be honest. So yeah, 9 is here, right? Agent 9 is here. But it's awesome to see a little bit of maturity. It's awesome to see a little bit of a leadership. But until the Vikings figure out how to build a complete team, this is just another cool story and a forgettable season. Guys, JJ McCarthy's new edge gives the Vikings heart, but heart alone does not make you a contender in the NFC. Minnesota needs more than fire. They need a good football team. Right now, their football team sucks. But what do you guys think? Do you think JJ McCarthy can turn his team around, or will his fire fade with another losing season in Minnesota? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at YouTube.com. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Tell me what you think of JJ McCarthy's new attitude and if it can change the Vikings' future. Because truth be told, they're just what's the word I'm looking for? Average at best. They're not very good at the end of the day. It is what it is. But Man Hour Nation, it's time for a little bit of rant. Because once again, the NFL proven that it stands for no fun league. NFL is simple, guys. No fun league. And let's talk about what happened with the Carolina Panthers running back Rico Dowdle. The man scores a touchdown. The hardest thing to do in the professional football game. And celebrates with a simpler, harmless nod to a comedian. 2 pelvic thrusts. 2! A clear shout out to the classic Key and Peele sketch. You know, the one where the refs throw a flag if you hit that third pump. Well, guess what? The NFL threw the flag anyways, and they fined him nearly $15,000. And for what? For having fun. For showing emotion, for giving the fans a moment to laugh and enjoy the football game. Rico did not hurt anybody. He did not taunt an opponent. He did not throw a punch, or did he rip off his helmet. He just celebrated a touchdown with his teammates, and the NFL said, no, you cannot do that, baby. Now, look, I get it. There's a fine line between sportsmanship and stupidity, right? But this wasn't that. This was entertainment. This was personality. This is what football used to be. Before the league decided to wrap itself into bubble wrap and find anybody who shares to show some fire, a little bit of emotion, a little bit of passion. Guys, take me back to the days where Randy Moss was mooing the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Take me back to T.O. standing on the Dallas Star saying, yeah, I am the brightest star here in Texas. Take me back to Ray Lewis doing his jants. Chad Johnson with the Hall of Fame Jackson. Steve Smith talking that smack. And defenders absolutely lighting up people across the middle of the field. That was football. That was emotion. And that was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Now, a guy who does 2 hip thrusts and gets hit with the fine big enough to buy a new car. You got to be kidding me at the end of the day. This league talks about wanting to grow the game, wanting to connect with younger fans, but yet they punish the very players who bring personality of life to it. Guys, let the players celebrate. NFL, let the players dance. Let them have their moment. That's what makes the game memorable. That's what connects fans to players. And to Rico's credit, he handled it better than anybody could. He turned the fine into something positive. He partnered with GoFundMe. He is donating 100% of the money raised to Children's Home of Society of North Carolina, helping kids find a safe and loving families. Now, that's how you turn a bad call into a good cause. But it shouldn't have happened like that in the first place. So here's my message to the NFL and to the fans, ownerships, coaches. Lighten up a little bit. Football is supposed to be emotional. Football is supposed to be passionate. And when a guy scores and celebrates, you shouldn't be reaching for your wallet. You should be reaching for the highlight reel. Play it over and over and over again. And now I know most of us don't get to watch ESPN as of right now, but bring back that NFL countdown to the segment of Jacked Up. Guys, the NFL has become the no-fun league even more than what it already has. Let the players have personality again. Bring back the big hits, the attitude, the emotion, and the moments that made sports electric. Fans don't want robots. They want real people playing the game they love. So let me ask you this, man, our nation. Do you miss the old NFL? The celebration, the rivalries, the raw emotion? Or do you like today's cleaner, quieter version of football? That's the million-dollar question. Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. What is your favorite no fun league moment that's still making you shake your head? Because definitely the 2 pelvic thrusts, a little bit of gets me. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, pissed off. Pissed off. But you know what? Who is not pissed off right now? That is the Seattle Seahawks. Guys, let's talk about let's talk about the move that nobody's talking about enough. The Seattle Seahawks just got a hell of a lot better. Rashid Shaheed, the speedster from New Orleans, hasn't even played a snap yet, but he's already saying, I'm here to stay for long term in Seattle. That's the confidence, that's the energy, that's the belief, and honestly, he should be excited because he fits this Seattle Seahawks scheme perfect. It just makes sense, and the Seahawks are going to be good for a very, very long time. Shaheed told Fox 13 Seattle that he's already thinking about a long-term deal, saying we can figure out something after the season ends. And you know what? He's not wrong to feel that way. This isn't some guy showing up hoping for touches. This is a receiver returning to an offensive coordinator who already knows how to unlock him, Clint Kubiak. Remember last year before his injury, 6 games, 20 catches, 3 touchdowns, almost 350 yards. That's almost 17 yards per catch, guys. That's game-breaking speed. That's explosive playmaking. And now he's walking into an offense with Sam Darnold, who, by the way, is quietly playing the best football of his career, MVP caliber football, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, who has developed into one of the most complete young wide receivers in the NFL. Matter of fact, I am going out on a limb. I'm going to put him, he is arguably a top 5 receiver in the NFL right now. You put those two together, which with Shaheed stretching the field vertically, and suddenly this offense can hit you from every angle. And guys, this is not even an overreaction. This could legitimately be the best 1-2 punch in football. Jackson Smith-Njigba with Shaheed, look out, baby. They go to the moon. Guys, Shaheed gives them gives them the deep ball threat that forces defenses to back up. Jackson Smith-Njigba gives that precision, the hands, and the reliability underneath. Together, that's balance. Together, that's speed and skill. Together, that's dangerous. Shaheed even said it himself. He feels like there's going to be a whole lot of wide open opportunities in this offense. He talked about how much he loves the play action, the spacing, the vertical shots. He knows exactly what his role is going to be, the spark plug. The guy knows how to blow top off of defenses, and he's been doing it in New Orleans for many, many years. And now it's time to do it in Seattle. And here's the scary part. Yes, it is going to take a few weeks to gel. But once they build that chemistry, once Clint Kubiak opens up the full playbook, once Sam Darnold and Shaheed get the timing down, Seattle is going to be a problem for the rest of the NFC. Right now, it's the Rams and the Seahawks battling for the NFC West crown. You can throw the 49ers in there if you want, but truth be told, it's the Seattles and the Rams. But if this offense clicks, as it should, do not be surprised if Seattle makes serious push for that top spot. The NFC Championship game, Super Bowl bound. This team is quietly being built to win right now. Explosive playmakers, balanced coaching, and a quarterback who's finding his groove. That's the Super Bowl recipe. You guys heard it right. Super Bowl recipe for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Rashid Shaheed and Jackson Smith-Njigba might be one of the most dangerous new duos in the NFL. Seattle isn't just competing. They're building a contender. The NFC West just got a hell of a lot more interesting. Hell, the NFC as a whole just got a hell of a lot more interesting. Super Bowl bound, baby. Put some respect on the name. But Man Hour Nation, do you think the Seattle Seahawks have the best wide receiver duo in the NFC right now? Or is the hype a little too early, a little too much, a little too often? Subscribe, hit the like button, and guys, remember we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. All those shows with a couple friends. So comment down below and tell me what you're buying into the Seahawks' new Super Bowl potential. Super Bowl potential or Super Bowl bust? Because we got a lot of Super Bowl busts that are happening around the NFL, and one of them is the Indianapolis Colts. But Man Hour Nation, it's time to talk about the Detroit Lions. Yeah, the same old Detroit Lions that went 15-2 last year had everyone crowning in the next big thing. Dan Campbell chest bumping players, biting kneecaps, and Jared Goff acted like he finally figured out life without Sean McVay. And what happened when it mattered most? They got blasted. 45-31 by the Washington Commanders in the divisional round. Not even the NFC Championship game. And the first round that they played. One and done. And now we are here, week 10 of the NFL season. The rematch. The Lions are calling it the chance to get revenge. Really? Revenge? You don't get revenge when you got Bears on national TV. You get humbled. And the Lions have been living off that fake hype ever since. Now look, I get it. Jared Goff said it himself. Yeah, it's definitely a part of it, but we just want to get off a losing streak and get a win. Translation, the Lions aren't focused on revenge, they're focused on survival. Because let's just be honest, this team is spiraling out of control. They got pushed around. They got bullied by the Minnesota Vikings last week. And that offensive line, it's supposed to be the backbone of this franchise. It's been straight up trash. They haven't scored more than 25 points in 3 straight games. That's the first time since 2021. And you can't be the gritty, blue-collar, smash-mouth team, then suddenly forget how to punch people in the mouth. Dan Campbell said this week he wants to see urgency, intensity, focus, and finish. Coach, that's literally your job. You're supposed to have this every single week. And then you're still begging in week 10? You've already lost control of the locker room? Come on, Dan, you're better than that. And let's not pretend that this Commanders matchup doesn't sting. Washington didn't just beat the Detroit Lions last time. They exposed them. They showed them that the Lions can't dictate tempo and their offensive line's cracks. Jared Goff turns into a statue. And the defense, let's just be honest, guys, overrated. All gas, no brains. And now they're walking into D.C. like it's a redemption tour. Please. Jane Daniels is out, but it doesn't matter. The Lions' problems aren't about who they're facing. It's about who they are. They're an emotional team that can't stay consistent. One week they look like contenders, and the next week they look like the same old Detroit Lions. The ones that we all grew up watching collapsing every time the lights get bright. Look, I'll give them credit where credit is due. 12 wins after a loss is impressive. But that streak means nothing when those wins don't lead anywhere. 15 wins last season, no Super Bowl, no NFC title, just another year of, well, maybe next year. Guys, I am not buying this Detroit Lions hype anymore. This team was supposed to be built for the long haul, but it looks like they peaked early, and unless something changes fast, Dan Campbell's grit factory might turn back into a gimmick. Guys, the Detroit Lions are not contenders. They are flat-out pretenders who got a taste of success and forgot how to stay hungry. Until they can prove to win when it matters, they're the still old Detroit Lions in new flashy black uniforms. Now, Man Hour Nation, let me ask you this question. Are the Lions legit contenders in the NFC? Or are they getting exposed as frauds and who had one lucky season? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. So comment down below and tell me what you think, if the Lions are still for real or are they just a hype train that run out of steam. Now, guys, this is the live interactive show, so comment down below like my man, Old Man River did. He's a pigskin pundit.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, oh, hell yeah, brother. He says grit. Hashtag grit. Man, get out of here. The Detroit Lions are dog poo-poo. They got their ass whooped by the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you can say what you want about the Kansas City Chiefs. You can say, oh, they're not very good, Buck. They're not very good. But, hey, listen, you got beat by them. What does that make you? What does that make you? Speaking of you, Old Man River, how does that feel, baby? How does that W feel right now? Because that last check, of course, push pause, but the score is 7-0. Las Vegas Raiders are up. Get that hype train going, baby. Get it going. But hey, we're just here for another day. Guys. But here, today's segment is, what is today's segment? Bada bing, bada boom. Let me pull it up. It is not buy or sell. Today is panic or patience. Do we got panic or patience? As you guys, oh, here it is. Panic or patience, boys. Still trying to figure out the new setup going on here, guys. As you guys know, the computer went down, so I'm still trying to figure out the sound and the works and over, but it is what it is. But guys, it is Thursday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk, and let's switch gears and let's dive into panic or patience. Guys, here's how it works. Excuse me. I'm going to throw out a situation or a scenario that's happening in the NFL world right now. And it is up to decide if we're hitting the panic button or we just slow it down and show a little patience. I think we think it's time to panic. We're like, okay, things are not looking good. We need to start freaking out a little bit. It's like the moment where everything seems like it's spiraling out of control, much like the Detroit Lions season. But if we need a RELAX, take a deep breath and let it play out situation, we're going to go with patience. We'll remind ourselves that sometimes it takes a little time and not every bump in the road is the end of the world. So, guys, are we jumping off the ledge or are we sticking it out and trusting the process? Let's figure out if we need to be panicked or if we should keep our cool and be patient. On Panic or Patience Thursday. All right, guys, so it is Panic or Patient Thursday, and the first question of the night, guys, is should the Chicago Bears be in panic mode if they lose to the New York Football Giants this weekend? Take that and swallow it and soak it up, because at first glance, guys, this might seem a little dramatic. The Chicago Bears are sitting at 5-3. They won 5 of the last 6 games, and for the first time in a long time, they're actually favored to beat the New York Football Giants. And let's be real. Bears fans have seen this movie before. Us at Man Hour Nation have seen this movie before. Matter of fact, let's go back to our Bible verses. Paragraph 5, verse 2. Thou shalt not trust the Chicago Bears till December. Well, guess what, guys? It is going to be November. What's today? November 6th. But let's slow it down, baby. Let's slow it down and let's talk about this, because let's remind the last season. You guys remember 2024? Ooh, the Chicago Bears got hot. They won 3 straight. The hype train was in full steam ahead, and then they got come out and they got punched in the mouth by the Washington Commanders on that Hail Mary. And what happened next? The wheels completely fell off. They just didn't lose a game. They lost their identity. Matter of fact, they've dropped 10 straight games and ended up right back in the basement of the NFC. Now, let's flash forward to present day. Ben Johnson has done an incredible job changing the vibe in Chicago. Caleb Williams is maturing, the locker room is tight, and they're finally closing out those ugly, grinded out type of games that used to haunt them. This team beat the Dallas Cowboys, right? The Dallas Cowboys. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders, the Washington Commanders, the New Orleans Saints, in a wild game versus Cincinnati Bengals last week. All close, all tough games. And that has built some belief. Matter of fact, Ben Johnson said it himself. This team used to find ways to lose, and now we're finding ways to win. But guys, here's the problem. Here's the problem. If they lose to the New York Football Giants this weekend, it all could come crashing down yet again. This game isn't just about beating the Giants. It's about proving the culture has really changed. Because if the Bears slip up here, the same doubt starts to creep back. The same sayings of "here we go again" feeling returns. The momentum, the confidence, the process, all of it evaporates. Caleb Williams is getting better. There's no question about it. He is showing flashes of the guy that they drafted number one overall. But in the end, he's still young. He's still adjusting, is still learning to finish drives. And if the Bears take an ugly loss to a struggling Giants team, that narrative around him and the franchise legitimately flips overnight. Because if you look ahead, after the New York football Giants, guys, the Bears' schedule turns into a nightmare. They got the Vikings, they got the Steelers, Eagles, Packers twice, 49ers, and then the Detroit Lions. That is just not a stretch of games, guys. That is a meat grinder. That is going to test even the best teams in the NFL. And if they walk into that stretch with a loss to the Giants, things could spiral out of control very, very fast. Guys, the Chicago Bears have momentum right now. They got confidence. They're winning ugly, but they're winning. Lose this game, though, that confidence dies. You start hearing whispers. You start pressing. And before you know it, you're right back to where you were last year talking about next season. So, guys, let's answer it. If the Chicago Bears lose to the New York Giants this weekend, should they be in panic mode? Guys, the answer is yes. Absolutely 100% yes. This isn't just another regular season game. This is a tone setter. If Chicago wants to be taken seriously as a playoff team, as a top 10 team in the NFL, they cannot lose to a team like the New York Football Giants, period, in the story. If you drop this one and the slope gets slippery really, really fast. Because if you lose now, you may not win again until mid-December. And that kind of stretch, that can derail everything Ben Johnson has built this season. Guys, if the Bears lose to the Giants, yes, it is time to panic. Because what comes next could turn into a hot streak into another collapse. The schedule is brutal, the pressure will mount, and the ghost of 2024 and years before will come right back to haunt them. If the Bears lose to the Giants, does it kill all the momentum that is built? Or can they recover of a brutal second half schedule? That is the question for you guys, Man Hour Nation. Subscribe, hit the like button, guys. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Tell me, Bear fans, or fans in general, are you hitting the panic button if the Chicago Bears fall to the New York Football Giants? Old Man River says, clear as day, Buck. Panic. It is time to panic. It's time to panic. And Buck, oh, guess what? It's time to panic yet again. And I agree with you, brother. It is 100% time to panic if the Chicago Bears drop this game. Matter of fact, even if they win this game, if it's ugly, it could be a long, long November, long December. Maximus is back in the chat again today. What's up, man? He says, panic. The Bears dive too hard to afford L's. Divey too hard. Well, what does divey mean? Is that a new hip term that I'm not aware of? Divey? The Bears are divey too hard. But yeah, a 100% Maximus, I agree with you. They cannot afford any type of losses at all. They cannot afford to lose it, period. The Bears division is too hard. Okay, I see you. The Bears division is too hard. Yeah. The Packers are a Super Bowl team, right, guys? The Lions are a Super Bowl. And honestly, the NFC North is the most overrated division in football. There, I said it. I said it. Truth is, they're the most overrated division in football. It is what it is. But man, our nation, we need to talk about this one. We need to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys, and should the Jacksonville Jaguars be in panic mode if they lose to the Houston Texans this weekend? Now, on paper, this game looks like the Jaguars should handle easily. Houston Texans are without their starting quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Davis Mills is getting the start this week. And Jacksonville is coming off an overtime win versus the Las Vegas Raiders that snapped their two-game losing skid. But let's not kid ourselves, guys. This one has trap game written all over it. The Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting at 5-3, sitting at 5th in the AFC playoff race as of right now, and they still control their own destiny. Their goal of the season was clear: make the playoffs and make a run. But lately, the spark has just starting to been a little flicker. Since their statement went over the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football about a month ago, Jacksonville has faded into the background, and that's where the danger lies. Guys, let's call it what it is. This is a must-win game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you're serious about contending in the AFC, you cannot drop a divisional game on the road against a backup quarterback. You simply just cannot do that. The Jaguars are supposed to win this game. And yes, I get it. I understand. A divisional game on the road, they're always tough. You are supposed to lose that game, right? But not this one, not right now. If they lose to the Houston Texans this weekend, this means they have dropped three of their last 4. And yeah, 2 of those losses came against good NFC teams. I get it. The Rams and the Seahawks. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Good teams find ways to win games they're supposed to win. And if Jacksonville Jaguars slip here, this is just not another loss. It's a momentum gone, confidence shaken, and playoff pushes in serious jeopardy. And let's look ahead what's coming up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because after Houston, they got the Chargers. Pretty good team, right? Cardinals, meh. Titans, meh. Colts, pretty good team. Jets, meh. Broncos, pretty good team. Colts, yet again. And then they play Titans again to end the season. Now, that's not an easy stress if we're being honest here. And they'll probably need a minimum of 10 wins to make the AFC playoffs this season because the AFC is very, very loaded. This means that they cannot afford to lose more than 2 games for the rest of the way. If you drop this one versus the Houston Texans, then suddenly the path gets really, really tight. And remember, this team has been very inconsistent all season long. 1 week they look like contenders, and they look flat out lost. Trevor Lawrence has been on fire. Not great, but fine. The offense has been sputtered at times, and defensively they've been hot and they've been ice cold. And when this pattern continues, guys, it is 100% time to panic. So the question, guys, is very, very simple. Should the Jacksonville Jaguars be in panic mode if they lose to Houston Texans this weekend? Guys, I think it's yes. I think they absolutely have to be in panic mode. You cannot afford to lose to a divisional rival starting a backup quarterback when you're trying to prove that you belong to the AFC elite. If they lose this game, it means they've lost 3 of 4. They've blown winnable matchups, and then they have put themselves behind the 8 ball heading into a brutal second half of the schedule. This team talks about being ready for a playoff run. Well, playoff teams take care of business in games like this. This is where you want to show maturity. This is where you want to show leadership. And if they can't, then we're talking about another Jacksonville Jaguars team that fell short of expectations yet again. Guys, if the Jacksonville Jaguars lose the Houston Texans this weekend, yes, it is time to panic. Because that could snowball fast. You can't lose to a backup quarterback in your division and to call yourself a contender. It's that simple. But Man Hour Nation, do you think the Jacksonville Jaguars can still make the playoffs if they lose to the Houston Texans, or would that loss signal the beginning of another Jacksonville Jaguars collapse? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button, and remember we're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. So comment down below and tell me, Jaguars fans, Man Hour Nation, pigskin pundits, are you confident heading into this game versus the Texans, or are you bracing yourself and ready for panic mode? Let's get into the comments. Maximus says, in my opinion, it's been panic for the Jaguars. Even with their solid start, I just don't think they have the pieces in place to make a run, even the playoffs. Even harder with injuries that the Jags have. Maximus, you are 100% correct. Now, I do not think old Travis Hunter is the end-all, be-all. Mr. Two-way player himself, right? Yes, Travis Hunter is a valuable piece on one side of the ball. If he were to pick one side of the ball, defense or offense, that loss would have been a hell of a lot bigger. But we do forget that Travis Hunter is out. As a matter of fact, he's on IR, so he's out for at least 4 weeks. Let's not forget that they just traded Tank Bigsby to the Philadelphia Eagles too, right? Of course, that was a couple weeks ago. Travis Etienne's been balling out. But truth be told is they are an injury away from being a below-average team. You have to beat this team. You have to beat them soundly moving forward. That's just, it's simple as that, and it is what it is. But Man Hour Nation, this is time to get into this one. The Indianapolis Colts have been making noise all season long, and they made even bigger noise this couple of days ago. But panic or patience, guys, for the Indianapolis Colts. Should the Indianapolis Colts be in panic mode if they lose to the Atlanta Falcons this weekend over across the pond? Now, on paper, this might sound crazy, but the Colts are sitting at 7-2. They have been one of the field goal stories the entire NFL season, and it looks like they are a legit contender. But when you look a little bit deeper, this game might be a turning point. Guys, the Colts came out of the gates swinging this year. They started off 3-0 with dominating wins, showing everybody that this wasn't a fluke. Then came the heartbreaking against the LA Rams, a tough loss. Then they bounced back strong, rattling off 4 more wins in a row. Looked sharp, looked confident, physical, and then last week, reality hit them. Literally hit them in the mouth. The Pittsburgh Steelers walked into that game and punched them right in the mouth over and over and over again. 6 turnovers, and Daniel Jones looked like New York Daniel Jones for most of the game. Now this week, they're heading overseas. Early kickoff, different environment, and they're facing the Atlanta Falcons, the team that's been up and down all season long. One week they look like solid Super Bowl contenders, and the next week they don't even belong on the same field as the worst team in the NFL. But here's the key. This is exactly the kind of game that you cannot afford to lose if you're the Indianapolis Colts. Because let's just be real. The Colts have been one of the best stories all season long. Lou's defense has been flying around. The offense has looked balanced, confident, and explosive. They have rebuilt the culture. They have rebuilt the swagger, and that's why this game matters so much. Because losing to an inconsistent Falcons team in a weird early international game could destroy all the momentum that you have built. Now, they're sitting at 7-2. They clearly control their own destiny. But after this week, the road gets a little bit brutal. Because you got the Kansas City Chiefs coming up, Jacksonville Jaguars, Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers, and you play the Jaguars again. That is a gauntlet. And if you drop this one and suddenly you're staring down the possibility of losing 6 or 7 games in a row. And that's not a hyperbole, that is reality. This isn't about losing one game in the end. This is about who you be losing to. Atlanta is the definition of inconsistent. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they're going, and they don't even know where they've been. If the Colts lose this one, it tells me that they're not mentally ready for the big stage. It tells me that the Steelers just didn't beat them. They exposed them. This team has been talking Super Bowl all season long, and you can't call yourself a championship team when you're dropping games to below 500 opponents with no identity. You can't talk about chasing Lombardis and then lose focus in the middle of the season. And here's the thing. This team is built to win now. They've got the quarterback, they got the defense, they got the weapons. And if they lose to Atlanta, the entire narrative flips. Suddenly, they're not contenders. Suddenly, they are pretenders trying to hang on to playoff positioning. So guys, panic or patience? Should the Indianapolis Colts be in panic mode if they lose to the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday? Yes. Absolutely. Yes. No question about it. Because this isn't about the standings. It's about momentum, it's about mentality, and it's about identity. A loss here could send them into a tailspin that they may not recover from. You lose this one, then you got the Chiefs, Jaguars, Seahawks, and 49ers all coming up. And they could easily turn into 5, 6, 7, 8 losses in a row. And if this happens, the Super Bowl or bust dreams become bust real fucking quick. This is the kind of game that tests team maturity. Championship contenders take care of business in games like this. If the Colts stumble here, it is time to hit the panic button because the road ahead gets dark and fast. Guys, if the Colts lose to the Atlanta Falcons, yes, it is full-blown panic mode. Hit the button, sound the alarm. This isn't a loss you can brush off. With what's coming on your schedule, one bad Sunday could snowball into a season of collapse. Look at the Chicago Bears last season. But guys, panic or patience. If the Colts drop this one overseas to the Atlanta Falcons, do you believe they're still true Super Bowl contenders, or are they staring at their show to cracks? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com. Now, this is a live, interactive show, and let's get into your comments. Maximus says, this is so 50-50. Obviously, Daniel had a bad game last week, which I can look past. But the Colts aren't Super Bowl team yet. They need those first-round picks to build the team. Sauce won't bring them rings. I 100% agree with this. Now, on the surface, the addition of Sauce Gardner makes them a very, very valuable team. Sauce Island, as they like to call it, right? Let me get those big air quotes. Sauce Island. The point of the matter is, guys, Sauce is having arguably the worst. Matter of fact, I had not been impressed with Sauce Gardner since his rookie season. There's a reason why the Jets were so willing to let him go. Granted, they did get a little haul in. Was it 2 picks and a player? Like, I get it. But at the end of the day, when the Colts made this trade, their Super Bowl window went from like about 6 years to about 3. They better figure it out real freaking quick and real fast, and they have to win this game. So 50-50, don't be waffling around, Maximus. No waffle around here. No waffle around here. Man, our nation, we do not waffle. We give direct answers, and they got to panic if they lose this game to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, they beat the Falcons in dominant fashion. Then we be talking about some okay. We see it. Mellow Mike's in the chat today. What's up, Mellow Mike? He has come out of hiding after his Houston Texans got the wrestle. Whatever. Mellow Mike says, Colts got exposed by Pittsburgh. Told ya. Danny Dimes is back to New York Football Giants Danny Dimes. And I agree. Now, I agree that the Colts got exposed. I agree that the blueprint of being the Indianapolis Colts is now out there. What I do not agree with, I think Shane Steichen knows how to make adjustments. I think Shane Steichen can go out there and, improve from their mistakes, AKA get the ball running a little bit better. Because when you can run the ball, Daniel Jones' play action is a hell of a lot better. They did not run the ball well versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's why they lost that game. Also, 6 turnovers doesn't help either. But hey, don't kick a horse when it's down or whatever I was about to say. I don't know. Well, the Mike says they have the QB. 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. Maybe an upgrade over Anthony Richardson. Listen, anything right now is an upgrade over Anthony Richardson. You can get Tua. You can get an injured Joe Burrow. You can get anything right now is better than Anthony Richardson. Richardson was just a head case and he needed to get out of town like ASAP. It was tough. Mellow Mike also says, if they drop a game to the Falcons, does this make them the Chiefs? I'm not for sure what you mean by that, because the Chiefs have won 3 of their last 4. They lost to arguably the best team in the AFC in the Buffalo Bills. Now, don't say that around Patriots fans, because by God, they're going to get pissed. They're going to be getting pissed. But. The Colts are not that good. The Colts are not that good, and nobody can compare it against. Singletary is greater than Sauce. Facts. I think Sauce Gardner is highly, highly overrated. I just think he is. I just think he's highly overrated. Oh, man. Rivers a Big Ten pun. What's up, man? Get that off there.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Colts have been impressive as of late. Colts have been impressive most of the season. There's 7 wins, versus subpar opponents have been very, very good. They dominated the teams that they're supposed to dominate, and then they lose to the teams like the Rams when they literally fumble it away. And then they lose to a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers the Steelers are not bad. Let's not get it twisted, but they're not great either, right? But I don't agree with that. They have been impressive at spurts versus bad teams, sure. Miller Mike says, I ain't been hiding, bugging, been working on my podcast, baby. Send me the link to your podcast, man. Hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/manhour NFL Talk, or on the old Twitter machine at manhour_buck. Send me the link, man. We'll check it out. We'll link up. Chiefs lost to the Jaguars, same as the Falcons, Buck. That's different. It's different. That's different. But guys, it is time for a little bit of fact. Crap.
When there's something strange in the NFL scene, we must find out. What does it mean? You scroll through the feed, it's a clickbait trap. Who you gonna call? To a crack. You beat drama, trades in the air, insider sources, but you may care. From the draft room buzz to the locker chat, Buck breaks it down. To a crack. Huddle up, hold tight. Is it wrong? Is it right? Tweets bringing the fight. Breaking news.
All right, guys, so it is time for the closer of the show. It is time for the thing we can call fact or crap. This is our favorite closer, guys, and here's how it works. I'm going to throw out some so-called facts making around the NFL world, and together we're trying to figure it out, whether it's the real deal or it's nothing but garbage. Guys, we're going to cut through the noise, break down the hype, and decide whether it's worth buying into. If it's fact, we're calling it out. If it's crap, we're going to bury it. So, guys, buckle up, grab your snacks, because it is time to figure out if it's a whole lot of facts or a hell of a lot of crap. So, guys, the first fact or crap of the day is going to come down to the Tush push. Because the Tush push is, it's must talk about TV, right? We have to talk about it. We have to discuss it. We have to live it each and every day. But guys, it is time for a fact tonight. And tonight's question is a spicy one. Guys, fact or crap, should the NFL ban the Tush push? Should they finally get the Tush push out of the game? Because this debate has been raging on for 2 straight seasons now. Every week it feels like somebody's complaining about it. And every week the Eagles keep proving why it works. But when the Bills run it, everyone loves it. But when the Eagles run it, it's like, oh, everybody hates it. Why? Simply put, the Eagles push the limits. They line up right on the edge of the offsides. They move the ball before the snap. And sometimes they get away with the early movements, aka false starts. It's not the play itself that's dirty. It's the fact that Philadelphia milks every inch of what's legal and dares the refs to stop them, and they won't. But let's call it what it is. The Tush push isn't cheating. It's smart football. And banning it would be absolute crap. Packers coach Matt LaFleur is trying to avoid the topic this week ahead of their matchup versus the Philadelphia Eagles. He didn't want to stir the pot, but everyone knows where he stands. The Packers led the proposal this offseason of banning the play this offseason, calling it safety, hazards, and unfair. The proposal failed by 2 votes. 2 votes away from changing one of the most effective short yardage plays in modern football. And Matt LaFleur even admitted this week. It is a very tough play to stop. Translation, simply put, we cannot stop it, so I want it gone. That's not strategy, that's frustration. Because if we're being honest, the Tush push isn't about strength, it's about execution. The Eagles' offensive line is elite. Jalen Hurts is built like a tank. They have perfectly timed leverage, and teamwork makes it unstoppable. That's not something that you can ban. That's something you can try to beat. But let's look at the facts. According to ESPN research, the Eagles have run the Tush push 21 times this season at a success rate of 77%. That's down from 83% last year and 92% from the year before that. So it's not automatic anymore. Teams can stop it if they play it right. Even the Packers use it themselves. Jordan Love went 4 for 5 on tush push attempts back in 2023. And nobody said the word back then. But why suddenly is it a safety concern now that Philly is dominating with it? Guys, here's the truth. The truth of the matter is the NFL doesn't need to ban the push. They just need to officiate it better. They need to call false starts. They need to call illegal formations and call the pre-snap movements. You clean that up and the play is perfectly fine. Because banning it entirely would be ridiculous. You'd be pushing the innovation. You'd be penalizing a team for masquerading a legal play within the rules. And a play that every other team could run, but most just can't execute. So don't ban something because a team is just better at it. That's not competition. That's just jealousy. So guys, factor crap. Should the NFL ban the tush push? It's just crap, guys. It is 100% crap because it's football. It's short yardage situation. It's about grit, leverage, and toughness. Can't stop it. That's just on you, baby. If your quarterback is too fragile to run it, that's your problem. Don't change the rule because Philly, the Buffalo Bills, and the Kansas City Chiefs have figured out how to move a pile. Just officiate the play properly and let the game play out. So guys, factor crap. Should the tush push be banned or should it stay in the game? Is it time for the NFL to step in and outlaw it or just let it play on? Subscribe, guys. Hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now, Man Hour Nation, it's time for Factor Crap number 2 of the night, and tonight's question cuts deep in Raiders Nation. Guys, Factor Crap, should the Las Vegas Raiders move on from Pete Carroll, a.k.a. fire his ass, get him out of town? Now, look, I get it. Pete Carroll's a legend. A Super Bowl champion. A guy who has done it all. College titles, NFL rings, and a career most coaches can only dream of. But this isn't Seattle anymore. And right now, it feels like the Raiders' silver and black shine is fading fast. Guys, the simple fact of the matter is Pete Carroll is 2-6. The simple fact of the matter is Pete Carroll is 74 years old. The simple fact of the matter is they have dropped 8 straight AFC West games dating back to last season. They got embarrassed by the Chargers, outscored 51-9 in 2 divisional games, and they just got shut out by the Kansas City Chiefs 31-10. You could talk about injuries all you want. Brock Bowers missing games, Geno Smith struggling to find rhythm, but at the end of the day, the product on the field doesn't lie. This team is not competing, and that is the real issue here. The ACS West isn't waiting around from anyone. Andy Reid has turned Kansas City Chiefs into a dynasty. Sean Payton has a Denver Broncos rolling. Jim Harbaugh has flipped the Chargers into a playoff contender within just 1 year. Meanwhile, Pete Carroll, a coach with Hall of Fame resume, and can't even get his team to play consistent football for 4 quarters. And let's just be honest. The Raiders have been through this before. Pete Carroll is their 5th head coach since 2021. At some point, you cannot keep blaming coaches. You cannot ignore the results. The franchise hasn't had a winning season in 7 of the last 10 years. And right now, there's no evidence Pete Carroll is changing that anytime soon. The one thing Pete Carroll has done is rebuild a culture. Players love him. He's respected. He's brought structure, but this is Las Vegas. It's not Seattle. Patience doesn't exist here. The fan base and the front office want results yesterday. So guys, facts or crap? Should the Raiders move on from Pete Carroll? 100% facts. 100% facts. Get him out of town.